Hey class, so we're gonna continue with the learning. This lesson is 25-3, so I hope you had a chance to do a lot of work on multiplying polynomials and adding and subtracting polynomials. So this one is still multiplying polynomials. The book calls it graphic organizer, but I've been calling it the area model. So we're gonna do these examples right here. So these four examples. So again, using the area model to multiply polynomials. So A says, again, area model. The book calls it graphic organizer. Graphic organizer. But it means the same thing. To multiply polynomials. So sample A, just to make sure you get the same, the right x times x plus 5. So a few ways of doing it. So first I'll do the area model. Oops. So if I do the area model, this is what my rectangle would look like. See if this makes sense to you. So now if I have it like this, I see that where I have two spaces, that's where I'm going to have the x plus 5. And where I have the one space is where I'm going to put x. So you see why I put a 1 by 2. So this is x times x plus 5. Remember, if it's positive, we don't put the number. And now we work our way in. So x times x is going to be x squared. And x times 5 is 5x. So the area will be x squared plus 5x. If you saw it differently using the discrete property, meaning, oh, I can just multiply it in, and with that, we did the discrete property when we're solving equations. So it's the same thing. Notice that x times x is going to be x squared, and x times 5 is going to be positive, so plus 5x. So notice that we get the same thing. Just to again emphasize, or what happens if I have drawn my rectangle like this. Notice that I would have to write it differently. So on top I will only have x, and on the left I would have x plus 5. And when I do my multiplication, x times x is x squared, x times 5 is 5x. Notice I will still get the same results, x squared plus 5x. So again, doesn't matter how you draw your rectangles, the results inside are the same. And we committed property multiplication. So that's one example. So example B, it says x minus 3 times x plus 6. X minus 6 minus 3 plus 6. X plus 6. And again, I'm going to use the area model for all of them now. So notice how I set up my box. So I'm going to put x minus 3 on the top. That means that on the side will be x plus 6. And then one box at a time. X times x is x squared. X times negative 3 is negative 3x. X times 6 is 6x. And 6 times negative 3 is going to be negative 18. So notice that my area will be x squared minus 3x plus 6x minus 18. Notice I have the like term right here. So this becomes x squared. So negative 3 plus 6, negative 3x plus 6x becomes positive 3x minus 18. Next one, C. So if you want to set up C and work it yourself out, just pause the video and then check with me. If not, then I'll just follow along. Maybe you can do D by yourself. So C says x plus 7 times 3x squared minus x minus 1. 3x squared minus x minus 1. So that's what's given. So notice that now I have two terms here, and here I have 1, 2, 3 terms. So if I'm going to draw my area model, see if this makes sense to you. So notice that by doing this, you can probably tell what's going to go on top. It's going to be 3x squared minus x minus 1. And on the left side, it's going to be x plus 7. And again, just work your way in. So we're going to do this one first. So x times 3x squared. Remember we talked about properties of exponents. There's that invisible one here. We multiply with the same base, we add them. So this is going to be 3 times x to the third power. So the next box, x times negative 1x becomes, remember that's invisible, negative 1, becomes negative 1x squared. X times negative 1 becomes negative 1x. So moving on to the next box, 3x squared times 7. So 3 times 7 is 21. So it's going to be 21x squared. Next box is 7 times negative 1x. So 7 times negative 1 is negative 7x. And always remember the last box, 7 times negative 1 is negative 7. So notice I have more terms now compared to what we have been doing previously. So if I write on my areas, it's going to be 3x cubed minus 1x squared minus 1x plus 21x squared minus 7x minus 7. And again, I'm going to identify my like terms. So notice that x to the third power, there's no other x to the third power. However, x squared and this x squared, this x with this x, and there's no other coefficient. So that means that my final answer is going to be 3x to the third power. So negative 1x plus negative 1x squared plus 21x squared. So negative 1 plus 21 is going to be positive 20x squared, and negative 1x minus 7x, negative 1 minus 7 is going to be negative 8x minus 7. So there's my final answer. So if you want to try D, try it now. And then pause the video and see if you get the same answer as I do. So D says 3x minus 7 times 4x squared plus 4x minus 3. 4 squared minus 4x plus 3. So again, you can pause the video and do the work and then check the work when I'm done. Or if you want to do more practice again, then just look at the video and then do the practice that I assigned to you guys. In this one, notice that I'm going to do my box differently. But again, my results will be the same. So if I draw my box like this, then very clearly see that on top I'm going to have 3x minus 7. And on the side it's going to be 4x squared minus 4x plus 3. And now work my way in. First box, 4 times 3 is 12. And x squared times x is going to be x to the third power. Next box, 4 times negative 7 is negative 28x squared. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12x squared. Negative 4x times negative 7, negative times negative is positive, so positive 28x. 3x times 3, 3 times 3 is 9, so 9x. And the last one, 3 times negative 7 is negative 21. So if I write down all my areas, I have 12x cubed minus 28x squared minus 12x squared plus 28x plus 9x minus 21. And again, recognize your like terms. X squared, x, and nothing else. So when I combine my like terms, this is simply 12x to the third power, negative 28 minus 12. So you're going to have negative, more negative. So there's going to be negative 40x squared, 28x plus 9x, so 28 plus 9. It's going to be positive 37x minus 21. So this is it for now. Like I said, I don't want to rush this part, so I didn't want to do this lesson in the next lesson, and I didn't want to add more to it because I did give you a lot of work. So that's why on Thursday I just gave you another video to support the idea of an area model. So in this the work I'm going to assign for this video, you're gonna have polynomials, areas, polynomials in this form or in this one, kind of like C and D, not like maybe B, maybe something like A, but for sure a lot of C and D where you have a binomial multiplied by a trinomial. Again, if you have questions, send me those messages. I updated grades, so I'm going to do the Alex grades for sure next. And if you have questions, again, you can every Friday and from 9 to 10, you can just log in to the Zoom session. If you need the link, let me know and I'll send you the link and the password. And then you can ask the questions that you might have. Again, if you can't wait till Friday, just send me those messages and I will help you. And continue staying safe.